The exam had a 0% survival rate. I passed it in 5 minutes. They said I cheated. I said I calculated. Want to know how I survived? Let and Appos start from the beginning, which, for me, started in a trash heap. Not a metaphor. An actual trash heap. The kind where you find broken weapons, empty ration cans, and the occasional deserter and Appos' badge. I was the last soldier standing from a battalion of 200. Not because I was strong. Because I was too stubborn to die, and too lazy to run. There and Appos' a difference. Strong people volunteer for suicide missions. Lazy people hide in latrines until the explosions stop. The war ended 3 weeks ago. Nobody told me. I just woke up one day, looked around at the empty trenches, and realized all my enemies had gone home. Good for them. But my allies? Also gone. Either dead or deserted. All except 60 girls. 60. I counted twice because I didn't and Appos believe it the first time. Civilians, medics, cooks, 3 washed-out mages who couldn't and Appos cast fireball without setting their own hair on fire. None of them fighters. And me. The guy who barely passed basic training because he kept falling asleep during target practice. My instructor wrote on my final evaluation, and quote, "This soldier and Appos' greatest weapon is his ability to be forgotten." End quote. I framed it. End quote. "Can you teach us to fight?" End quote, asked Lia. Lia was the medic. Blue hair, steady hands, and a habit of poking my wounds just to watch me flinch. She said it was, end quote, medical curiosity. End quote. I said it was sadism. We never agreed on which. End quote. No, end quote, I said. End quote, please, end quote. End quote, I said no, end quote. End quote, then we and Appos, LL die, end quote. I looked at the 60 faces behind her. Some scared. Some hopeful. Most just tired. Like me. Tired of running. Tired of hiding. Tired of waking up every morning wondering if today was the day someone remembered I existed and decided to shoot me. End quote, fine, end quote, I sighed. End quote, but Don and Appos, blame me when you and Appos, worse than before. I and Appos, am not a hero. I and Appos, am not a genius. I and Appos, am a guy who survived because I have the survival instincts of a cockroach and the ambition of a potato. End quote. Lia smiled. End quote, that and Appos, exactly what a hero would say. End quote. End quote, no. A hero would give a speech about hope and justice. I just want to eat breakfast without dying. End quote. Then the system decided to wake up. I felt it first as a pressure behind my eyes. Then a cold crawled down my spine. Then a voice not auditory, more like a thought that was and Appos, mind speaking directly into my skull. Hidden talent awakened, the Artisan and Appos' touch. Warning, system override initiated. Effect, any weapon touched by an ally you and Appos, trained gains +1 upgrade tier per hour of contact. Stacks infinitely. No upper limit detected. Condition, you must be within 50 meters. You must have personally trained the ally for at least 10 minutes. The weapon must be non-living. Warning, you are the only one in this region with this talent. Congratulations. You and Appos, indispensable. Try not to die. I blinked. Did I ask for this? No. Did the system care? Also no. It probably thought it was being generous. End quote. Here, have a broken ability that turns you into a walking blacksmith. Oh, and you have to teach 60 people how to fight first. Good luck, end quote. I picked up a rusty dagger from the trash. The blade was chipped. The hilt was wrapped in frayed cloth that smelled like someone had died holding it. Probably had. This was a war zone, after all. I handed the dagger to Liao. End quote. Hold this for an hour. Don and Appos, drop it. Don and Appos, stab anyone. Just hold it, end quote. End quote, that and Appos, it, end quote. End quote, that and Appos, it, end quote. End quote, what will happen, end quote. End quote, if I and Appos am right? Something useful. If I and Appos am wrong? Nothing. If the system is lying, end quote, I paused. End quote, then we and Appos, all going to die anyway, so it doesn't end Appos, matter, end quote. She held the dagger. I sat down on an ammunition crate and stared at the sky. The clouds were gray. They and Appos, been gray for weeks. I wondered if the sun still existed or if the war had killed that too. 59 minutes passed. I know because I counted every single one. Leah and Appos' arms started shaking. End quote, my hand is numb, end quote. End quote, switch hands, end quote. End quote, there and Appos' blood, end quote. End quote, that and Appos' not blood. That and Appos' rust. Probably, end quote. End quote, probably, end quote. End quote, Don and Appos, ask questions you Don and Appos, want answers to, end quote. At exactly 60 minutes, I stood up. Walked over to her. Touched the dagger. Target upgraded, rusty dagger standard steel dagger +1. Bonus effect detected, +5% critical chance. Wound healing property added. The blade shimmered. The rust peeled away like dead skin. The edge gleamed with a light that hadn't an Appos, been there before. It looked like a weapon that belonged in a noble and Appos' collection, not a trash heap. Leah and Appos' eyes widened. End quote, it glowed, end quote. End quote, Don and Appos, get excited. It and Appos, still a dagger, end quote. She stabbed a training dummy. The blade went through the straw-stuffed chest like it was air. Then the dummy exploded. Not metaphorically. The thing detonated. Straw flew everywhere. The wooden frame shattered. A small crater formed in the ground where the dummy used to be. 60 girls stared at me. I stared at the smoking crater. Leah whispered, end quote, did I do that? End quote. End quote, the dagger did that. You just pointed it, end quote. End quote, but you made the dagger, end quote. I rubbed my face. End quote, yeah? I did. Great. Now everyone and Appos' going to want one, end quote. A girl in the back raised her hand. End quote, can you upgrade my frying pan? End quote. End quote, I said no weapons, end quote. End quote, it and Appos' cast iron. Very heavy. I killed a rat with it once, end quote. End quote, that and Appos' not you know what? Fine. Bring the frying pan, end quote. What could go wrong? Everything, apparently. And I had 60 more people to disappoint before lunch. Did anyone ask for my opinion? No. Did that stop them? Also no. The frying pan incident should have been my first warning. Mila, the girl who killed a rat with cast iron, handed me her pan. It was blackened, dented, and smelled like burnt eggs. I touched it. Nothing happened. Because she hadn't an Appos, trained with me for 10 minutes yet. End quote, you have to earn the upgrade, end quote, I said. End quote, how, end quote. End quote, follow me for 10 minutes. Don and Appos, die, end quote. I led 60 girls through basic combat drills. Forward lunge. Back step. Side pivot. The kind of moves soldiers learn in their first week. Most of them tripped. Leah fell twice. Mila never fell, she just glared at the ground like it owed her money. 10 minutes passed. I touched Mila and Appos' frying pan. Target upgraded, cast iron frying pan reinforced combat skillet +1. Bonus, plus 15% blunt force. Heat resistance increased. Enemies hit will smell bacon for 24 hours. His sword cut through my sleeve but not my arm. Then Liao stabbed him in the shoulder with her dagger. He screamed. The dagger and Appo's wound healing property worked in reverse when used against an enemy. His wound didn't end Appo's heal. It spread. Black lines crawled from the cut across his chest. End quote. What did you do to me? End quote. End quote. Uprated her dagger. End quote. I said. End quote. It heals allies. It does the opposite to everyone else. End quote. He collapsed. His men stared. Then they attacked. Fighting broke out everywhere. Mila and Appo's skillet connected with a mercenary and Appo's helmet. The helmet caved in and smelled like breakfast. The three mages fired sparks at another enemy. His pants caught fire, and he ran screaming into the forest. But we weren't and Appo's winning. 2 of our girls went down. Not dead, but bleeding. The mercenaries had numbers, experience, and enchanted weapons. Our upgrades were only +1. Their weapons were baseline stronger. One mercenary grabbed Liao by the hair. Another kicked Mila and Appo's skillet away. I tried to reach them, but the bald leader, still alive, still crawling, grabbed my ankle. End quote. You lose, end quote, he whispered. Was this a test? Or was it a funeral mine? I looked at the 60 girls. At their weapons. At the mercenaries closing in. Then the system spoke again. Hidden condition met, protect 60 allies while outnumbered 5:1. Artisan and Appo's touch evolution available. Mass upgrade all allied weapons within 50 meters, increase by +1 per second for 10 seconds. Cost, 90% of your current stamina. Warning, you will collapse afterward. Could I have handled that better? Probably. Did I? Absolutely not. I activated it. Energy surged through my veins. I cracked my knuckles. End quote. Okay, end quote, I said. End quote. Who is first? End quote. 60 weapons erupted in light. The world turned white. Not metaphorically. Actual white light exploded from every weapon in a 50-meter radius. Daggers. Skillets. That stupid rock that was now a grenade. Even the broomstaff the mages were holding shot out a beam that carved a trench in the dirt. The mercenaries screamed. Not in pain, in confusion. Their enchanted swords flickered, dimmed, then went dark. My mass upgrade didn't end Appo's just boost our weapons. It overloaded theirs. End quote. How? End quote. The bald leader shouted, still clutching his shoulder. End quote. That and Appo's impossible. End quote. End quote. The system doesn't end Appo's care about your feelings. End quote. I said. End quote. It cares about numbers. And right now, my numbers are bigger. End quote. I wasn't and Appo's wrong. But I also couldn't and Appo's feel my legs. Mass upgrade active, 3 seconds remaining. Allied weapons currently at +4. Your stamina, 12%. 12%. I and Appo's started with 100. Math was and Appo's my strong suit, but I knew single digits were coming. End quote. Girls, end quote, I said through gritted teeth. End quote. You have 8 seconds. Make them count. End quote. Liao understood first. She grabbed her dagger, now glowing like a small sun, and threw it at the mercenary holding Nila and Appo's hair. The blade spun twice, embedded itself in his shoulder, and he dropped like a sack of potatoes. Mila recovered her skillet. It was now wreathed in actual flames. She swung it at the nearest enemy. His armor melted. He ran. He kept running. I think he and Appo's still running. The 3 mages pointed their upgraded broomstaff at the remaining mercenaries. A bolt of lightning, not sparks, full lightning, shot out and hit the ground between them. The explosion sent bodies flying. Mass upgrade, 0 seconds remaining. Allied weapons returned to +2. Your stamina, 3%. My knees buckled. I caught myself on the ammunition crate, but my arms shook like I and Appo's he carried a mountain. End quote. Stay down, end quote, Lia said, running past me. End quote. We and Appos, V got this, end quote. Did they? 3 mercenaries were still standing, including the bald leader, who and Appos, D somehow crawled to his feet. His sword was dead, no enchantment left, but he was still a trained killer with a sharp piece of metal. End quote. I and Appos, I'll kill you all, end quote, he roared. Mila stepped in front of him. End quote. Try it. I haven and Appos, to use my rock yet, end quote. She held up the fragmentation grenade that used to be a rock. The bald leader froze. End quote. That and Appos, S not you can and Appos, T end quote. End quote. It and Appos, S a rock, end quote, Mila said. End quote. I picked it up off the ground. My friend touched it. Now it explodes. Want to see, end quote. He raised his hands. End quote. Wait. Wait. We and Appos, LL leave. Just on and Appos, T throw that thing, end quote. End quote. Too late, end quote. She threw it. I closed my eyes. The explosion was loud. Louder than any weapon I and Appos, D heard during the war. When I opened my eyes, there was a crater where the mercenaries had been standing. No bodies. No armor. Just a smoking hole and the faint smell of bacon. Mila stared at the crater. End quote. I didn't and Appos, T think it would do that, end quote. End quote. You threw a grenade at point-blank range, end quote. End quote. It was a rock 10 minutes ago. How was I supposed to know? End quote. I wanted to argue. But my body made the decision for me. My legs gave out. I hit the ground face first. Dirt in my mouth. Stars behind my eyes. Stamina, 0.4%. Recommendation: do not move for 24 hours. Alternative recommendation: move and die immediately. I didn't end Appos, T move. Liao knelt beside me. Checked my pulse. Poked my wound, of course she did. End quote. He and Appos, S alive. Barely. Someone help me carry him, end quote. End quote. No, end quote, I mumbled. End quote. Leave me here. I and Appos, LL catch up, end quote. End quote. You can end Appos, T walk, end quote. End quote. I and Appos, LL crawl, end quote. End quote. The enemies are crawling too. They and Appos, LL catch you, end quote. End quote. Then I and Appos, LL bite them, end quote. Mila picked me up like a sack of flour. I weighed maybe twice her. But she and Appos, D been holding that skillet for hours, and apparently, the strength upgrade transferred to her arms. End quote. Stop complaining. You saved us. Now we save you, end quote. That was the moment I realized something terrible. They weren't and Appos, T going to let me be lazy anymore. Did I just do that? Yes. Yes, I did. And now I had 60 people who owed me their lives. Do you know what people who owe you their lives do? They expect you to keep saving them. Forever. We made it back to camp. The girls treated their wounded 3 minor cuts, 1 burned hand from Mila and Appos, as skillet, and 1 girl who and Appos, D twisted her ankle celebrating too hard. No deaths. 0. Against 12 armed mercenaries. 60 untrained civilians with upgraded weapons. I lay on my ammunition crate, staring at the stars. They weren't and Appos, T gray anymore. I could actually see them. That felt like a metaphor I was too tired to understand. End quote. We need to leave, end quote, Lia said. End quote. Those mercenaries were scouts. A larger group will come, end quote. End quote. Then we fight them too, end quote. End quote. With what? Our weapons are back to +2. Your stamina is 0. And we have no walls, no traps, no backup, end quote. I closed my eyes. End quote. What do you want me to do? End quote. It worked, end quote, I whispered. 60 girls gathered around me, all holding their weapons, all waiting. The ground pulsed again, stronger this time. The trillion cracked. Something stepped out. It was massive, 12 feet tall, armored in black chitin. 4 arms. No face, just a smooth mask with a single red slit where eyes should be. Its presence pressed down on my chest like a physical weight. Entity identified, corrupted sentinel level? Threat assessment, extinction. The sentinel raised one arm, pointed at me. End quote, you, end quote, it said. Voice like grinding metal. End quote, the anomaly. Surrender your talent, or everyone dies, end quote. I looked at Lia, at Mila, at the 60 girls who and Appos, followed a lazy soldier into a war they never signed up for. End quote, here and Appos, that's the thing, end quote, I said, stepping forward. End quote, I and Appos, am not a hero. I and Appos, am not a genius. I and Appos, am just a guy who wanted to eat breakfast in peace, end quote. I touched my chest again. Then my arms. Then my legs. Reinforced dermis +2. Muscle density +1. Bone hardness +1. Your stamina, 3%. End quote. But you interrupted my breakfast. And now I and Appos, am annoyed, end quote. The sentinel lunged. I caught its first punch with my bare hand. My reinforced skin cracked but didn't end Appos, break. Pain shot up my arm. I smiled anyway. End quote, girls, end quote, I said. End quote, upgrade time, end quote. 60 weapons erupted in light. 60 girls charged past me. And somewhere behind the sentinel, deeper in the forest, something else was watching. Something with red eyes and a smile that didn't end Appos, belonged to a human.